The life behind Tourette's can be a hard life. The bad days take over the good days. Life can be difficult, but you learn to live it. This is Maddie Ford. She suffered from Tourette's syndrome her entire life. On this day the photo was taken, it was the worst to date. She started punching herself in the face and many more. Let's hear about her story now, from her herself.
I'm Maddie Ford and I suffer from Tourette's syndrome. Alongside Tourette's syndrome, I also suffer from ADHD, depression and anxiety. I take L-Vance for ADHD, aripiprazole for Tourette's, sertraline for depression and anxiety, and I also take iron tablets to keep me healthy because I'm anemic. Honestly, living with Tourette's syndrome is one of the hardest things ever. It gets to you on some days and some days it doesn't at all. Some days feel like an absolute roller coaster and the other days feel completely fine and you feel like a normal person. Also, having Tourette's is kind of like, most people don't understand it, but for example, if you want to tick, which is what they're called, like your little movements like that, for example, there's another one. If you're gonna tick, it feels much like an itch, like you have to scratch it, but with a tick you have to do it to just get that pressure off your chest. And it's quite difficult in a way to deal with that sometimes if you're in a pressured situation. For example, if you're in an exam, like I remember I had to take exams in a separate room because of it, because I used to distract other children while taking exams, and I remember having a terrible time because I was so stressed about it that my Tourette's just got increasingly worse and everything sort of turned upside down really. I don't really, depression that I suffer with, some days when I feel really depressed it's because of my Tourette's. If my Tourette's are bad that day it makes me depressed, but if my Tourette's are good that day then I feel quite happy because it sort of levels it out. Anxiety, it gets increasingly high when, for example, I go on public transport or things like that and I start ticking because I'm worried about what people think about me and I'm worried about what they're thinking and how I come across to them, and I cope with it in many different ways. I sort of, one, try to ignore it, two, it sounds really weird, but when I was younger I used to ice skate and that's when I first found out I had Tourette's syndrome. And I first found out I had Tourette's syndrome was during a relay race, and I remember running and I fell to the floor and everyone thought I was having an epileptic fit, so I got tested for epilepsy and it turned out I had Tourette's. So that was about year 3, 4, and then I started ice skating about year 5, about year 4 I started ice skating, and I noticed that as soon as I put on an ice skate boot and got on the ice, my Tourette's would completely stop, and it was really odd and I just felt completely free when just ice skating, and ever since then I've gotten better because I did lessons and things like that and I just loved it, but I've grown to love it and I've grown to understand that it keeps me concentrated on what I'm doing, because when I'm off, as soon as I get off the ice and take my skates off, I'm back to me again, just ticking.
What does it feel like having a friend with Tourette's?
I don't really notice it, if I'm honest. Like, there's not really a specific feeling that I get when I'm around them. They're just like another ordinary person to me.
Okay. Do you feel like you're able to help in any way?
I don't think I can necessarily help them, but if I just don't really talk about it or point out when I notice it or anything, I think maybe that can help, because then they wouldn't be as maybe nervous about it or insecure about it or something.
Do you understand Tourette's syndrome in itself?
I know it's like an involuntary action when they say certain words, like they can't control what words they say or when they say them. But I don't think I understand it as well as I'd like to.